Hi everyone, it's Tammy at Walnut Creek Bath Boutique, and today's video is all about me finishing up some bath bombs I made. This last weekend I made donuts, and in a minute I'm going to show you the macaroons. These are my donuts, and I got the color by pretty much a 50-50 of an orange dye and a yellow dye, and I was looking for that bread color, and I think I did pretty close on that. I used my new donut Kata mold with my arbor press. So if you haven't seen my video of how I use an arbor press to press my bath bombs, I'll link that in the description and maybe up in the cards as well. Okay, so here's my mold. It comes in 3 pieces and it's just their standard bath bomb press or bath bomb mold. And so I was able to get these donut shapes with it. I made a black cherry and then a black raspberry vanilla. Now when I made these bath bombs, my humidity in here was 27 degrees, and that is really, really low, and it was difficult to get these bath bombs to hold together. I had to use a lot of water, spritzing with water to get the consistency right. And it's 30 now, but it was 27% humidity in here this last weekend. Earlier this week, I tried to do a glaze, and again, I think it was the humidity was so low, I just couldn't seem to get my consistency on the glaze right. I'm going to try again. I'm going to use a little bit of a different recipe, but here's one. Let's show you if you can see that. It's just too thick. It didn't really ice like I wanted it to, and it got so hard so fast that the sprinkles I made aren't really holding on. I'll show you my sprinkles. Aren't those cute? Those are SCI noodles, which SCI is just a very, very gentle surfactant. I colored these with either a mica or a dye. Most of them are dyes, but I think the purple was a mica for sure. I purchased a bath bomb making course. It's called Pro Bath Bombs, which I will also link in the description below because I did learn a lot. But one of the things I learned in that course was that if you use sugar sprinkles on your bath products, you have to list the ingredients of those candy sprinkles and on your bath bomb. Now, real estate for me on a label is prime. I struggle getting everything on a small label, and so having to include all of those ingredients was just not something I wanted to do. What I learned how to do though is how to color SCI noodles, and then that's just one ingredient because the colors are usually already in my bath bomb, or 1 or 2 ingredients if you consider the colorants that you're using, like the dyes. So that was really fun. It was super easy, but I'll link that below if you're interested in learning how I did that and learning how to do that. So the first things first, I'm going to try to fix my black raspberry vanilla. I don't like them. I think they're fine, but I want to add a little bit of icing to them and add my sprinkles, and we're just going to see if I can make them look a little bit nicer. I'm also going to add a couple of black raspberry soap embeds that I made for a wine soap I'm going to make this weekend, and I thought it would be fun to just kind of stick those on there. So I'm going to get that started, and I'll turn the camera down so you can kind of see what I'm doing, and let's see if we can fix these bath bombs. So in here I just have 5 ounces of cocoa butter. And my humidity now is at 30%. It's still pretty low. I may not have to put very much baking soda in here, but I'm just going to stir this. I have 10 ounces of baking soda in here. I don't know that I'll use all of that. But I'm going to stir it until I feel like I've got a decent consistency. So what I did on these, I used another recipe that actually called for SLSA, and I ran out, and it's hard telling when that will ever come. It's taking weeks and weeks to come in the mail. I'm just going to put about half of this citric acid in here as well. This is more in line with what I was looking for. Much closer. It's still a little runny. So I'm going to add a little more baking soda. And I'm going to do this slowly. This is perfect. I'm thinking that's a perfect glaze consistency. So I'm going to get a spoon, and for these, since I already have some sprinkles on them, I'm just going to spoon it on. I have my spoon right back here ready to go. Let's see what we can do here. And I'm just going to start throwing some sprinkles on right away. Do some yellow on this. Orange. I think this is going to work out better. Now I'm going to get a little bit of cocoa butter melted to glue on my raspberries. I got this cocoa butter almost melted, but I think I have enough in here to just get this started. I'm going to pour it in this little container here and just dip them in there. Oops, I tell ya, dropping. So hopefully that cocoa butter will harden enough quickly that they won't fall off while it's hardening up, and they'll stay on there. I think it looks silly, but I think it also looks kind of fun. Let's take a look. That is our black raspberry and vanilla bath bomb. Now we need to get our cherry. So for this batch, I'm using black cherry balm from Nature's Garden, and it smells amazing. So I am actually going to, now that I'm finished with that, this is starting to harden up, but I think it's in a good way. I think it's starting to thicken up a little bit. So I think I'm okay with that still, because I'm going to actually dip this one, but I am going to try to color this. Oh, this is cherry. I wanted it to be red. Ah. I may have to redo this. What was I thinking? That's a really pretty purple. All right, hang on. This is just my life, guys. This is what I do. I make mistakes so many times, but I don't know if this will work. It's probably a little too thick for this. Yeah, it's too thick for that. I think this is a happy mistake, because this is now, I'm feeling pretty good about these. They're messy, just like a donut should be. Oh my gosh, how cute. I'm so glad I made this mistake. Ah. All right, don't get carried away. Less is more. All right, let's add a little glitter. Oh gosh. I mean, on one hand, I think they look like a hot mess, but on the other hand, I think it looks so cute. I'll bring it up. Oh my gosh, you guys. How fun. All right. You know, but to a little girl or boy that gets a donut bath bomb for their Easter basket or birthday, Valentine's Day, they're not going to think this looks like a hot mess. They're going to think this looks like a fun, fun time. I'm back, and I just have another 5 ounces or so of cocoa butter melted down. All right, so I'm doing the same thing I did earlier. Just adding baking soda slowly until I get to that consistency that I want. And I do want this one to be a bit thicker because I want to dip it and I want to have a nice thick, like glazed donut look to it. I'm going to be using red raspberry from Nurture Soap. Red raspberry. It is fun. So let's see about this color. Oh, fun, you guys. Look at that. That's a pretty pink. Oh, I'm so excited. You know, I think I need a little bit more. I don't want to put colored sprinkles on this. That's not on the pink. So maybe I'll just keep this one more simple and just glitter the top. Is glitter simple? I thought about just getting some SCI noodles out and just doing white. But I think I'm just going to glitter. And let's just see how this is going to work out. Ah, how fun! Oh my gosh, that's exactly what I was looking for. A little bit of dripping. It's getting gold glitter. We're glamming it up in here today. I'm so excited. Up close shot. So cute. Okay, I'm going to clean up a little bit and then get the macaroons out. Okay, macaroon time. Boy, can I tell you, this has been a struggle. It's been maybe a week and a half since I've made my macaroons. Well, I ran out of my SLSA, and my frosting recipe, or all of them that I've used in the past, have always used SLSA. So I ordered it, and it's not even shipped, and it's been at least a week and a half since I ordered it. And I need to get these packaged. But let me show you what I've done and where we're at. Okay, so I was able to get my 3 of them done. So I've got this one is done, and this is Rustic Essentials Glacier Valley. I don't have that bottle, but that's the scent of this one. And then this one is pink, and it's coming apart. It's pink, and it's Island Escape. That was from Brambleberry. This one is from the Candle Maker store. It's Sunkissed, which is a Sunkissed Citrus. And that's a Scentsy dupe, I think, but it's yellow. So this is the one I made this morning, and it's actually already probably hard enough for me to package. It got hard really nicely. So I may go ahead and get that packaged today. Shocker. So I only have one more to do, but I tell you what, I've thrown away more frosting trying to come up with a recipe that does not require SLSA. I went on YouTube, I researched different companies, just trying to just trying to come up with one. And this one is really pretty good. It kind of a tweak off of another YouTuber that I watched. And if I can find it, because I watched so many, I'll link her channel in the description below where I got this recipe and kind of where I kind of tweaked it. But anyway, what I'm going to do is, for some reason, I don't know why I do these things. I bought this like macaroon box. And it's just a macaroon box, and it has a sleeve like that. Isn't that cute? I thought it's perfect for spring, and it's, you know, Valentine's Day and Easter's coming up. And so I can get 5 in here, or actually I can get 4. These are just the 2 that I have already packaged. But the other 2 I'm making are a lot wider, so I think the 4 is going to fit pretty nicely in here. And I'll put some shred or something to make it look nicer. So I'm going to bring the camera down so you can see what I'm doing, and we're going to just finish this last batch of macaroons. It's just been, holy cow, it's been a process. So hang on just a second, I'm going to switch your camera. All right, hopefully you can kind of see what I'm doing here. In this bowl, I have baking soda, tapioca starch, cream of tartar. I didn't have any SLSA, so basically I just ground up in a grinder my sodium cocoa isothianate noodles and made a powder out of it. And so I basically am switching out my SCI for the SLSA. And then in here, I have cocoa betaine, cocoa butter, some rubbing alcohol, poly 80, and fragrance. And I'm just going to pour it in. I think that poly 80 kind of gels sometimes. So when I made this earlier, it started off really, really thick to the point where I could barely get it through the piping bag. I wanted it thick because all of my other frostings kind of deflated so badly, and they didn't hold their shape hardly at all. So I liked the fact that it was kind of thick, even though I really struggled at the beginning getting it through the piping tip. So you can kind of see how loose this is, but it's going to thicken up here. Excuse me, that SCI powder I think got a little airborne. So I think I'm just going to stir it here. And you can already see it starting to change. If you can see that, it's already getting thicker. And now it's really, really thick. This is kind of where it was earlier. But I think earlier I added a little extra cocoa butter. And I'm okay with it being thick, but good night. This is a little thick. This is a little too thick. So I'm going to add in just a touch of cocoa betaine to kind of loosen this up a little bit, and maybe even a little bit more rubbing alcohol. I'm just going to, that very much goes against everything I do. I usually weigh, I'm fanatical about weighing everything, but I have to just like make my life a little bit easier sometimes, and I have to tell myself that I don't have to be that legalistic with everything. I like this. It's still very thick, but it's pretty pliable. So I'm going to get it in my piping bag. This is kind of a process where you have to move fast. Get my little Dollar Tree tiki cup. Bought specifically for this purpose, and I love it. It works perfect. All right, guys, here we go. Oops, that was pretty loud. I'm not even in camera, am I? I'm working on my camera angles, you know, whether whether I'm in the shot, whether it's kind of a top-down view a little bit or a more forward view. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I have my macaroons here. I'm just going to put 2 on here and switch it back to ounces. And I'm going to pipe until it hits 2.5. And I'm struggling again. There we go. But what I do like about this recipe, and if I find that it's a really good recipe after lots of trial and error, I'll share it. But what I do like about it is I can cap them right away. I don't have to worry, and you can kind of see it's a lot thicker than those other ones that I made earlier. But before I had to cap them after, 10 minutes, and then I waited too long, and then I couldn't cap them because they wouldn't squash down at all. So yes, it's very hard to get out of here. I should have used my other piping tip, the open stir. This is a closed stir. Good night. All right, hang on. There's that fine line about being hard enough and then not too hard. And I've got just the wrong tip on here. I should not have used this closed stir tip. And there's just so much air in it. There we go. So what I did to make this a little bit easier on me is I squeezed the bag. And I squeezed just warmed it up a little bit. And now, although there's still quite a bit of air in it, it is coming through quite a bit easier. It's just the wrong tip because it won't even come off the tip very well. So that's a little bit of a struggle. That was a process, at least 2 weeks of work just doing these bath bombs. Anyway, I have them finished finally, and I thought I would show you how they look packaged. So there is the black raspberry vanilla packaged up. My circle labels are just a titch too big. This makes me miss my silhouette machine because I could make any size label under the sun completely, but I had to give that thing up because my sanity was not able to deal with with that silhouette machine. That's a tangent I could go on, but those are the bath bombs or the donuts, I should say. Those are the donuts, and then I have my macaroons finished finally. The icing about kicked my butt, but there's Glacier and Ocean Mist. Those are almost too similar in color. I wish I would have done something different there. But there's the Sun Kissed and then Island Escape. And then I wanted to show you how they look in their packaging. So I was able to get 4 with the shred. I used a silver label, like a metallic label I bought from online labels on accident, and I'm trying to figure out a way to use them up. So I thought I might just throw them on this. I don't love it, but it is using some labels that I need to get used. So anyway, I thought that looked pretty cute. I'm calling this Fun in the Sun with the four macaroon bath bombs. So anyway, thanks for watching. I'm sorry it was such a mess. It was just anyway, Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And if you want to subscribe, please do. Give me a thumbs up. If you just hated it, you can give me a thumbs down. That's okay too. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.